This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, May 21st. But the year was 1861, and Richmond, Virginia is designated the Confederate capital. It was on this day, 1881, that Clara Barton begins the American Red Cross. It was on this day, 1927, Charles Lindbergh, in the spirit of St. Louis, lands in Paris, being the first to solo across the Atlantic. It was this day, just 5 years later, 1932, after flying 17 hours from Newfoundland, Amelia Earhart lands in Northern Ireland, becoming the first woman to solo crossing the Atlantic. It was on this day, May 21st, 1969, that Robert Kennedy's murderer, Sirhan Sirhan, is sentenced to death. Later, the sentence will be commuted to life in prison. It was on this day, 1972, Michelangelo's Pietà in St. Peter's Basilica is damaged by a vandal with a sledgehammer. It was on this day, 1981, that reggae musician Bob Marley receives a Jamaican state farewell funeral. It was on this day, May 21st, 1983, David Bowie's Let's Dance. The single goes to number 1. It was on this day, 2004, when Sherpa Pemba Dorji climbs Mount Everest in 8 hours and 10 minutes, setting a world's record. It was on this day, May 21st, 2017, that Barnum and Bailey Circus performs the last time at Nassau Coliseum in New York City after 146 years. But that was May 21st in the past. This is May 21st, 2020. Walmart has reported quarterly same-store sales increases of 10% and a whopping 75% jump in online sales. Detroit area auto plants have begun making new vehicles for the first time since late March. Amazon increased its job openings by nearly 20% in the month of April. 2 churches in Georgia and Texas that reopened recently among the virus pandemic have since closed their doors again after churchgoers and religious leaders tested positive for the virus. Representatives of the church, in a statement, said in-person worship services for the foreseeable future will be canceled. The church maintained the highest social distancing guidelines, hand washing, and all of the other attempts to restrict the spreading of the virus. The University of Notre Dame is anticipating a return of the virus next December. In preparation for that closing next December, Notre Dame will begin classes August 10th and conclude their first semester by Thanksgiving. They're developing plans to test, trace, and quarantine any students who might contact the virus. Their plans are less dramatic than the steps taken by the California University system, which said it has canceled all in-person instruction for the fall semester. At the same time, beachgoers crowded the Virginia Beach oceanfront over this past weekend, despite the strong shutdown requirements by the government. Thousands of beachgoers, many whom could be seen not wearing masks, swarming the sands. Many also crowded gift shops, buying items like snow cones and hermit crabs. Chicago, are you having trouble trying to decide whether or not to move? Is it time to quit your job? A new study from the University of Chicago by economist Stephen Levitt says a study of happiness after making major decisions reveals that people should actually embrace quitting. His study finds that participants who go through with their own coin flip choice were living happier lives 6 months later. His study suggests that a simple coin flip not only helps people make big choices, but they're even happier when the coin tells them to make a huge life choice. And those who have done this say that their lives are happier 6 months later. The study published in the Review of Economic Studies asks the question, should I quit? Should I get married? Should I propose? Should I get a tattoo? Flip a coin and decide. Well, there's good news and bad news, and also a lot of confusing news. And it's good to know that behind all of that is one truth. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is Ken Smith reminding you, it happened today, May 21st, 2020.